Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or certain condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a noisy country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
And why we should go through this rigorous, chaotic, demoralizing and inexplicable situation after much cogitation on this clandestine and surreptitious motive. He said, and I quote, "I am not a magician. Forgetting words are like egg. Once broken, they are gone. Once spoken, they remain indelible in the heart of man." Come to think of it, do they have the powers, the spiritualism, the abracadabra, the voodoo to perform the magic, and as well transmogrifically transmute and transfigurate this ugly, debilitating and exasperating situation? I saw it. The locution, "I am not a magician," in its jocularity in quote 1. 2, the uncircumscribed bluster, and in a vituperative ululation. I saw it in their hocus pocus explicandum, explication, elucidation, where we thought the shibboleth was a travesty and a parody to lampoon the masses expected a limousinary from the government. After the miserly, the niggardly, the chaser-pairing, the penurious, and the parsimonious, that I will say and remind us at this point in time that this is democracy. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Not oligarchy, plutocracy, and aristocracy. The catchword, the byword, the shibboleth, the locution, the conversion, the paroxysm, the spasm are counterintuitively excruciating, malodorous, horrendous, odoriferous, and odorous. But I pray that there's so much acclimatized transmogrification, there's so much acclimatized transmutation. It's not an act of sarcasm. Could it be that we are heading for better days? Could it be the political Moses that will take us to the promised land? Only on this note will I koto in Japoho, or else I will not koto in Japoho.
This impedimenta, combustible and volatile lemma, in its maximum exoneration, reminds me of the biblical Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. What germinated the abnegation and repudiation? What an academic mwahaha, academic yo-ho-ho, caused by these political yo-yos, political yobos, in their leadership rococo, leadership rababaration, in conjunction with administrative bemusement, holy bully, and discombobulation, in their obstreperous, malevolent shenanigan and hocus pocus agenda. Your boo-boo has poo-pooed into your business. The bifurcation and abdication of the vision in the name of honorificability to the nitatibus, just to score cheap political points. Then floxina, pilificating. You see, the stilty, politicals of torrent rodomotates and defalcators that you and I know, the lab notation of their eleemosinaries, ostentatious and libidinous lifestyle, shows that they are out. Oh, obliteration, mutilation, decapitation. Say no to this academic bantigism, academic noctambulism, and academic malocclusion, which their children are not part of. It's in a political somnambulism and malocclusion. It's in a financial and economic bantigism. Look at the way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. What a political holy bully. What a political hoity-toity. What a political foodie-doody. What a political hocus-pocus they have come with. What a political jabberwocky. What a political poppycock. What a political gobbledygook. With this consternation, I ask that you accept my pertinacious circumlocution. Accept my pertinacious circumambagous grandiloquence and magniloquence. But I will tell you this. I will not koto in Japoho. I will refuse to koto in Japoho. Thank you. Today, what we get in return, what we get in appreciation is the colossal, gargantua, high cost of living. What an opprobrium. What an odium. What an ignominious memento. That even at the barbituration of the so much acclimatized by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanica, boisterous, energetic, and a routine, but today for party affiliation, sentiments, for political somnambulism and malocclusion, he has chosen to remain close-mouthed, reticent, taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming, meaning he has kowtowed in their poho.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. Or because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. Politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. Or because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. Politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
They say TGIF, meaning thank God it's Friday. So we join the chorus. Thank God it's Friday. Another day, great day in this mystery country under the crooked government called Unity Party. Another day, another time, people. Welcome. Real Talk, Kings 88.5 on this 24th day of July 2026, the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. I'm Sam Andrews, as always, Sam Andrews. Grateful to God, we are always faithful, mighty. The good God who keeps watch over Kings 88.5 institutionally. The same God who keeps watch over each and every member, making up the team here at Kings 88.5. We are grateful to him. He is the good God, never reneging on his promises, but fulfills every word that he utters. We are grateful. Another day, another time again, people. Thank you too for coming on. We appreciate your presence as always. Let's bring on a few of you, and then we get into Mexico. And Susanna Tofula, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Tobasi, Saturday Woodaway, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Robert Asina Perez, Philadelphia, USA. Juja Onwe, Divine Woolley, Bethnesville, Old Pahama, Dolo Town, Lower Magibi County, Jack Foley Tombika, Broville Bible College Junction, Bowman Lehman, D15, Ambassador Walter Morgan Jr., CDC regular intellectual militant, Jonathan Bondo, Bypass, Morovia, Gasomon Cisse, Upper Caldwell, Montonian Son, Broville, Stanley Bozo, Congress City, Henry Now, Fender Community, Carfield, Hype Dozen, Johnsonville, Mamie Jackson, Paris Lobot, USA, New Jersey, Lakpei Jerry Jr., Kakata, Magibi County, Kogwe Wida, Kakata, Magibi County, Rebecca Doba, Zango Colley, Maryland County, Vinicius Bar, Newtown, Claudette Port, Susanna Galley, Atlanta, Georgia. Your namesake is sleeping. Your namesake, Galley, Gally Bryan, who is the religious advisor to President Boubacar. All of them are muted. Darlington Stokes, Patrick Young, Rita Christine Hayes, Massachusetts. Thank God you are recovering well, Rita, from your serious illness. We thank God that you are recovering gradually. David Tokpa, all of you great people, welcome. We appreciate all of you, my dear sister. Welcome, Louis. That's Louis Luogon from Kanweken City, River G. The chairman, Roman Rico Kenneth Bola Tupan, Daha Jovian, Daha Sidition. Good to have you on. All of you great people. Royal Always Va, welcome. Today is Friday, the 24th day of July. The month is gradually going to an end. The year is gradually going to an end. 3 years about to pass. When 3 years over, there is nothing for the Unity Party government, even now. So let's get out of Liberia briefly, and then we get to what we've got on our plate for this afternoon and this day, and that we'll be doing it. Amnesty International is urging Ghana to criminalize witchcraft accusations, saying authorities have failed to protect hundreds of victims 6 years after the lynching of 90-year-old Akua Dente. In a statement marking the anniversary of her death, the rights group said Parliament passed the Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill in 2023, but it was never signed into law and has not been reintroduced. Amnesty International says many people, mostly older women accused of witchcraft, continue to face violence, discrimination, and displacement, with some forced to live in camps in northern Ghana. The organization is calling on Ghana's government to revive the bill and adopt broader measures to tackle the harmful belief and practices that fuel witchcraft accusations. Nigeria's Dangote Petroleum Refinery has reversed its decision to sell fuel to local markets in US dollars, easing fears of potential fuel shortages. The company said it has resumed selling petrol in Naira at 1,250 Naira per liter, offering relief to marketers and consumers. Earlier this month, Dangote Refinery had announced plans to switch to dollar sales, citing challenges sourcing enough crude under the government's Naira for Crude Oil program. Under the scheme, launched in October 2024, local refiners can buy crude oil in Naira to reduce pressure on Nigeria's foreign exchange market. And South Africa says a case filed at the International Criminal Court by 2 Ghanaian citizens over recent attacks on African migrants is premature and falls outside the court's jurisdiction. Responding to the complainant, Foreign Affairs Minister Randall Lamola said South Africa's independent courts are already investigating the violence and are capable of prosecuting those responsible. He argued the attacks were carried out by individuals acting outside the law, not by the state, and pointed to the country's laws against racism, hate speech, and discrimination as evidence that there are sufficient legal avenues to deliver justice. Lamola said international action should only be considered after South Africa's domestic processes have run their course. Those are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Let's get to what we've got. You already know that's the trending issue. The epicenter, Mexico, Liberia, Mexico, a drug den, drug hub, just every description of drugs, and one of the most dangerous drugs the world is afraid of, cocaine, you can talk about. So people have been sharing just as you have, and you still continue to share your views, and you should continue. Don't stop talking about it. It is national. It is also political. Why did I say political? Because of the irony of the very government. They would say this is a national issue, a national emergency. We should diffuse politics of it, or we should not put politics into it. The very government politicized it. So sometimes you wonder whether the government understands what it says with this drug issue and other things. They say, don't politicize it. It's a national issue that affects everybody directly or indirectly, but they come and politicize it even more. You tend to wonder whether they understand the expression politicizing or politicization. So you are aware, it is clear now that the entire security sector is compromised. It is corrupt, just as they would tell us, without using the word allege, that we media people are corrupt. We are corrupt to the core. We are John the List. We are bribe-seeking journalists. They say all manner of things. They come down with all kinds of descriptions about us, and they will present themselves as the ones who do not receive bribe. They are more ethical than any person to ever walk the face of the earth. Ironically, they are the most corrupt. Here we are. The security sector of this country has shown itself. So you can see now that they have been bringing drugs into this country. Nothing here of allege. Given how that investigation is going, given what we have followed, what they themselves are putting out, you are convinced that they know everything that's been happening from the very first day. Look at the network. People that you felt that they were not in this drug business, that they could not get in drugs, are the real ones. Imagine that. So, given the severity or the compromised nature of the investigation, there is nothing best to get to the bottom of this thing and clear it off but independent investigation. These guys are not trusted. The Liberian investigators are not trusted. There is no credibility. They have compromised everything, their credibility. They have plunged this country and this government into the dungeon. For the government, it's good. For the country, no. If every day this government can be exposed to corruption as many times, it pleases me. But from a country perspective, because it affects everybody, but something damning of the country, of the government, that's fine. And it's good that this one has damaged the government. When it was said, when we were talking it from the beginning, you Unity Party people, what can you say now? You'll say we are opposition, as if opposition, not citizens of the country, not residing in that country, don't have responsibility, don't have a say. Your own government has made your shame. Now you Unity Party people can't say anything proudly. You people can look in the face of people from the other side of the political divide and say anything to them. because you mess up, you bad off, you dirty, you stink. Sorry if I'm sounding unruly, but that's the description of Unity Party I can give, because that's how they presented it yesterday. So the investigation has to, the entire police force needs overhauling. The entire police force, DEA, need to be overhauled. If President Bouakai is serious about cleaning a mess, then he has a work to do. And I should say to you that President Bouakai is in a very difficult position. He's between the rock and the hard place. He's in the state of confusion because, given what we are receiving, most, if not all of the guides that he trusted with the security sector are the ones who the investigation is pointing to. With this, you can't trust these guys any longer because they are covering up, they are protecting consciously. They know that they are involved. How do you expect a man who knows that he's guilty will expose himself? It doesn't make sense. He wouldn't do that. He would do everything to cover up and present other people as the bad people. Yet he knows consciously that he is a part of it. They cannot be trusted. President Bouakai isn't proactive. If he is a proactive president, by now you will see his intervention. Yesterday, they said President Weah could not take independent decision. This is how they said it. I can remember vividly. They said, oh, the man can think for himself. That Mageren can think for him. That Eugene Nambweden can think for the man. The man can take independent decision. Because President Weah's government was faced with some terrible situations at the time they needed the president to say, here we are. This one is even stronger than any other thing that happened in the past government. Mr. President is afraid of the very people. So to say, if I would tell you that he isn't man enough, is not to say that he's not man, he's man. He's idiot, he's man enough. But the expression not man enough, it means you are afraid to take decision, especially when it falls on your lap. So that is the confused situation Mr. President is in. If he was man enough by decision, you know what the nation will embrace? By now, Gregory Coleman the president will instruct that two things. One, recuse himself from the investigation. Two, tender in his resignation. If he, the police director, can do that voluntarily, the president will instruct. The two options available to you, Mr. Police Director: recuse yourself from the investigation, given that you have been implicated into it, or you tender in your resignation. Simple. The entire police force is compromised. The entire police force is compromised. You can trust anybody again. All of them know from the very first day what has been happening. And we are getting the real understanding on why the DEA. The DEA, in my opinion, was used as a smokescreen, a cover-up, a wall to prevent the real thing. To shift the focus of the public on those small people. So you will hear DEA in the past going to the place, they are raiding ghettos, quote unquote, they are arresting this person, they are making this announcement. Why the huge consignment of drugs was being traded from one end to another. So they were using the smaller one, get the public attention, focusing on that, talking about it, while they were behind the scene trading those high class, high profile, classified drugs. And you see that's what they've been doing all along from the very first moment this government came into being. That's what they've been doing. Ask yourself, why were they so boastful of money? They will call 1.5 million, 3.8 million, 6.9 million. Just go back. Take your time, go back. Listen to those monetary announcements that the government was making. You think it was only on revenue generation domestically? You think it was only by subsidy? Many other governments were coming in to give what they gave. You think it was only grant? Or it was only loan? This drug aspect was a major boost for those monetary announcements you were hearing. Since we've got into this thing and it became heated, have you heard the government making extravagant monetary announcements here and there? Do you know that some of the projects have stalled? Because drugs, all about money. Good money, substantial amount of money. You're talking between thousands, millions, and billions. These three categories: thousands, millions, and billions. One of the leading businesses in the world that had been in existence for ages, drugs. It goes with so much money. When you're saying drugs, you're saying money. I'm not referring to the ones used for medication treatment of people in hospitals and drugstores. We're talking about monetary drugs, the business that brings out thousands, millions, billions. The government can proceed further with the Liberia National Police, DEA, and the other. The entire investigative team is compromised. The entire security sector cannot be trusted. We are pressing for independent probe. So you can see now, when Cummings said that he was going to lobby with some of his people out to use his influence, and then the Ministry of Information hung on him. You see it. Those guys at the Ministry of Information, they need to sit down and really examine themselves, meaning their position, how they come to the public to make certain pronouncements or to react. Because the more they come out with their position, however they say it, the very investigation comes out with different things. They come out insulting people, giving them awful descriptions because they express their views as citizens. Then the investigation brings out something different, indicting the people involved with the drug, the cause of it, the layer around it. So what is the essence of the Ministry of Information officials talking? Because the more they talk, come in defense, the more bad things, dangerous things, criminal act about the whole drug thing. So I think they need to look at something else and just leave this. The investigative team can be trusted. They've compromised. The security sector, no. The security sector is vulnerable. Anybody can use, as they have used, the various ports of entry to bring in the drug. IG Coleman must do the needful. He must either recuse himself from the investigation, stop being a spokesperson and chief investigator, because that's how he presents himself, or tender his resignation, resign. He's already compromised. Yesterday, he came out to announce the dismissal and turning over Johnny, his booty, Johnny to the Standard Division for investigation. Only to realize that the police chief himself is implicated. And just as we told you, let's say today again, this guy you are looking at on the screen is a booty. But not only that, he has a bad record, a criminal record. His record is very bad and dangerous. He was thrown out of the force. His profile, the record on him is bad. Very discouraging. This Johnny Dane guy. He was thrown out of the force. Gregory Coleman comes to the police with Bouakai appointing him as head. He brings back this guy, his booty, his bestie. So we can conclude that this guy will do all of the operations for and on behalf of the SG and others. This is the guy the SG said, or the IG, sorry, the IG said he took 10,000 United States dollars. Deputy Police Commissioner for Crime Services, he took 10,000. The police chief said it yesterday right outside in front of the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. And he made the country to believe that there are people within the force who, or just so you know, at 4 o'clock, we speak to Kofa Klo, just as we spoke to the others to express their views. They have reservations about how things are going, and they think that President Bouakai is giving too much leniency to the investigation. So at 4 o'clock, we'll speak to Klo on the line to share his thoughts. Then we continue. The police chief made the nation, or told the nation, that this man received 10,000. Only to realize that the money was not only 10,000, it was more than 10,000. What came out was he took portion of the money. The money was more than 10,000. So the exact figure isn't out. What is out in the public is 10,000. But the information that came after Gregory Coleman gave the announcement was he took his share of the money. He took his share. That was Johnny Dane's share. So the others who were in the room, they did receive their share. So it wasn't Johnny Dane alone, but there were others in the room that received their share. It wasn't Johnny Dane alone. So the money was more than 10,000. 10,000 was the share that Johnny Dane received. 10,000. So it was more than 10,000. More than 10,000. Johnny Dane received a 10K. And the information has it that Gregory Coleman receive his amount. He took his up, just like when B-Man in a room sharing, he say, oh, okay, Daddy Maya, okay, I'm just taking this, and you can take the rest and divide it. That's how it went. He presented this guy as the bad man, only to realize that he is the mean bad man. And you still think that this man should stay within the investigation? The fact that that thing came out on Gregory Coleman, there is no time to wait for the outcome of the investigation. If President Boakai is proactive, by now action is taken against. But you know why? He is afraid of his police director. And all of these guys, they know the chain, they know the various connections. So if you look at the investigation, they're trying to do it in a way that it will center around certain people and the big names will not be called. Because the reasoning here, if it hits those bigger names, it's going to be too embarrassing. They try to avoid, they think that they are smart. They want to avoid international sanctions. After they've proud themselves or they say all manner of things, how they are this, they are good at this, they are good at governance, they are this, and then they find themselves in the pool of cocaine. They find themselves trading. After they lambasted the previous government, they made the international community to believe that the previous government was drug government. They used that and prevailed on the international community, bullied the United States government to bring sanction against those guys that are unsanctioned today, and they were excited, they were rejoicing. So their fear now, given what we did to CDC government, that some of their officials are unsanctioned, we might receive sanctions. So they're trying to play the smart, but they do not know how to play it, because the way it has gone far and wide. It has gone far and wide. Did you listen to BBC report that the Minister of Information got vexed and blasted BBC and said BBC over-exaggerated the number, when BBC took that very number from the very government officials here that led the Minister of Information to say, oh, come on, people have to respect the chains of command, meaning nobody should usurp my function. I'm the Minister of Information. I'm responsible for giving information out to the public. No other minister should be talking about this drug business, because he realized that everybody was giving figures of all kinds. The vice president announced a figure. He himself announced a figure. Everybody started announcing a figure. And in that reasoning, who do you go for? As a professional institution, you go to believe the police director, the vice president, especially the vice president, who is the second. If the vice president say 300 million, you expect BBC to come down and say, no, it's not 300. We're listening to the commoner. We're listening to the Zogo. We'll take the Zogo number of the street from the street. What sense does that make? The guys messed everything up. It gone far and wide, and it's not going to go down soon. It will not go down soon. They will have to do the needful. President Boakai needs to act. He gone in Buchanan for Liberia's 179th Independence Day celebration. We expect him to say something over there. He will have to say something about this cocaine. He will have to say something. Not saying anything, not doing anything, then we can conclude that the president himself is compromised. Simple. Because no president would just want to be sitting. When we told you people that those guys, they saw President Boakai as somebody that or just make a statement so the people will say they use President Bouaga as a cover up. The guys are smart. He too, he is not smart because President Bouaga is so vindictive to the extent that he just want to hear negative things about his opponent. So he felt that he was proving a point to the opposition, and you can prove a point to opposition on drug issue. So they say, "Oh look, my man Khan made a statement." He sat down, he read a statement. They say, "Oh, Mr. President, we need to have cabinet meeting on this drug issue." He said, "Yeah, director of cabinet arrange a cabinet meeting." He goes to the cabinet meeting. He said only one item, drugs and drug related. Anyone who is involved will be penalized. There will be no secret cow. Since then, and I think the president needs to start, because every time he makes a statement, new drug come out. Every time he makes a statement, discovery. But he has to say something. Given what is unfolding now, how this thing is going, he has to say something. He has to do something. He has to. He's in Buchanan. His turnout was very poor. I told you yesterday, he's not the charismatic character. People only respect him because he's the president of Liberia. But we've seen presidents getting out, and you see huge crowd. You see the number. President Bouaga goes out in Buchanan, few people. And those people are medical people, people at hospitals, the same people who were saying it was wrong yesterday for people to come out and greet the predecessor. They're doing the same thing. Nothing extra. They're doing the same thing. So, the security sector is compromised. The investigation can't be trusted any longer. Not at all. The boss himself is compromised. He needs to step down. Gregory Comer has two options. One, recuse himself from the investigation, or two, resign. This is nothing. It will not take anything away from him. This is the normal around the world. We've seen it just recently. I think a senator or representative was a government official standing down on an issue that he felt he didn't show leadership, and it turned out into something else. And he took responsibility. And part of that responsibility was to leave the post. They are still humans. They are still in their respective private areas. There is nothing wrong with that. This thing here is not Gregory Comer personal, everlasting position. When you mess up, you make amends. And part of that making amends is to recuse himself or resign. Police director who been trumpeting all over the place. Everywhere he will show up, became the spokesperson of the government, inserting himself in every situation, going to the extent insulting senators because he feels that he's the Nebuchadnezzar. And here is it. You see how shameful it is that he's implicated. Now he has to recuse himself. The police is so compromised or corrupt that you find it. Even the National Police Training Academy. What came out from there? Again, another corruption. The Police Training Academy. Another corruption came out from there. That is it commandant, that's how they called him. But I think it's commissioner. They dismissed the guy on corruption allegation. He's dismissed on corruption allegation. The National Police Training Academy. He's dismissed on corruption allegation. Imagine that. So the chief has to do the needful. Chief Gregory Comer has to do the needful. Resign his position or recuse himself from the investigation. Liberia now is New Mexico. Liberia is Mexico. Pablo Escobar. You know that name? Huh? You know that name? you bring out some of the Mexican name. So there is the guy. He's Simon K. Mulbach, Commissioner of Police for Training and Manpower Development, Liberia National Police Academy and Training School. He has been dismissed from the Liberia National Police, according to the authorities, with immediate effect. His dismissal is based on allegations of unsatisfactory conduct and performance, mainly that he extorted money. He extorted money. He took money. He took money that was not lawfully his, that he did not work for, but used his position. Use his position to harass, to intimidate, to threaten, put the person against his voluntary will to do. That's what it means. Extortion. Meaning, in your own will, you decide to do it. The person used the power, the influence. The person cajole you and say, if you don't do this, you will not get this. You have to do this to get this. So because you want it, you gave in. The extortion. Extorted money from Khalid Fawaz. Khalid Fawaz. This is a Lebanese. Khalid Fawaz. His name is spelled K-H-A-L-I-L. Khalid Fawaz. F-A-W-A-S. He extorted money from Khalid Fawaz, pretending that he was helping him to get a contract. And that contract was to supply food, clothing, and other logistics and training items to the Liberia National Police Training Academy School, how it's called. So that is why corruption. LMP. So they said that he needed, which he has to do if he hasn't done it, to report to the Crime Services Department for Criminal Investigation. 1, 2, surrender all government property in his possession. 3, refrain from identifying himself as member of the Liberia National Police Training Academy. LMP officer attempted or did extort money from the Lebanese businessman. Just as you see government officials, senators and representatives, and executive officials, or those in the executives, go to these Lebanese Indians, these police people, that's what they do too. No wonder why you see corruption in the street broad day. Everywhere, police officer is showing hand. In the keke is showing hand. In the Tesla is showing hand. Everywhere. Then you have the boss. When that thing happened on the highway, when we told you people that it was a make-up, you people didn't believe it. What Gregory Comer took, when he took all that money from, he put it on the car hood, and he said he called officers and receiving bribe. The most corrupt person always pretend like he is a saint. And that is typical person Gregory Comer is. You see it? And you see that thing? he did over there. So everybody, the United Party people, all the people, oh, the police director again. The police people there, they are corrupt. They are corrupt. The ones who on the field, you think they are corrupt. The most corrupt ones are the ones, the police guys in the office, the one with the positions. And that's what you're seeing with this drug in Mexico. Now we have Pablo Escobar. And we have Jimmy Nets. We have, I will name all the guys, all those Mexican names. All those Mexican names. Imagine that. Terrible. Bad off. So we can't trust those guys. We need independent investigators to come in, just as the police director was hasty, or he did the needful in his reasoning to bring in those experts, fire experts in his words, to conduct forensic investigation on the Capitol building. The same. Why they can bring in people? Why they can bring in experts for this cocaine stuff? And we're hearing that it's just coming from the other side, Rossville. Rossville. something about to happen. Something big about to happen. They got their network strong, but the network is being weakened. So see the guy. This is the Johnny Dean guy. This is Gregory Komami, man. The man they bought for 10,000. They bought the man for 10,000. 10,000. Imagine 10,000. So the intent is the most important thing. Equally, the money is evident. But if this guy can receive 10,000 as his own share, then imagine the other people. Then the full amount. Tobasi, yeah, plenty of Mexico. Joaquin El Chapo, Guzman, Consa, all those are all Mexican names, and these are names that are associated with drugs. So Liberia is Mexico, because when you have such a huge consignment or consignments of drugs everywhere, the country is infested. Don't be convinced that this is the last consignment they have intercepted, arrested, or taken hold of. No, this country is infested with drugs, just as it is infested with small arms. Everywhere. Yesterday, they went on Rana Street and raided a money exchange bureau. They said that they suspect that the people there were trading drugs or they were being used. Everywhere, drugs of all kinds in this country. The country is infested with drugs. They were putting on the how they call it, the Zogos. The Zogo. Let me see. I think I have something here, but I don't think that it's a bit real. I think it was, yeah, something. I have something like that. They say, oh, the Zogo, then they're taking the drugs all over. Yeah, people say, oh, okay. Since these people they had on the Zogos there and the other people, will use that as a cover up. Why they talking about it? They discussing it here and there. Will bring in our own. So while you were discussing, the people are bringing in their drugs. The people brought in their drugs. Now you see where it has taken the country. You see how bad off it is. Everywhere is infested with drugs. Nobody to see it as just this one. No, it's more than that. It's everywhere, everywhere. It's everywhere, more than that. So just know that you're in a country that is a drug state, a narco state. Yes, sometimes they'll put it on something like this. They're pulling people off. Something like this.
Katrina, we're gonna.
Fire!
Katrina. Katrina, we're gonna.
Fire!
Katrina.
So you were focusing on these people. You are focusing on them. You believe everything because they made you to believe. So, oh yeah, the children are killing our children. The this, that. So why you were talking that? Why you were angry in your spirit? They were trading the bigger ones on the other side. That's what you see. So, do you know how many months the country was focusing on those people? Even if they saw somebody who was not working well, society will conclude that drug cheating with that one. You say, oh, that one is not smoke now. Yeah. So the government officials were hearing all of these things. They seeing the pictures on social media. They say good. So the attention now was on that. Since the attention of the public was on what they were seeing on social media, people describing people as taking in drugs, the young people, they say, okay, let's concentrate on what we have now. So they start trading the bigger ones. This country is finished on a unity party government. It's finished. The country is done. This is the Republic of Cocaine, headed by a cocaine president. Yesterday, they said that how they refer to George Weah. Everything we're saying today, that how you said it. We were here, we saw it, we heard it. Why your man? The man Costa now, he more for he can't talk. Martin call the other, then he acting like he just finished with his wedding, so he want to. Other than shame. None of them can talk on this drug thing. All of them. They tend to bobo. Because they mess up their government, made them shame. The government made them shame big time. Big time. The shame. The lie to the people. The lie. That they are coming to do this, they are coming to do that. Not new. That drugs. President Bouhaka said there'll be no business as usual. Look at it. Drugs as usual. President Bouhaka presiding over a narco state. The president who said no business as usual presiding over a narco state. And his state sits and he's doing nothing. His top officials are being accused. And he goes to sit in Grand Bassa County and say he's celebrating 179 years. What good is your celebration when your country has been characterized as a narco state? Mexico, with all the Escobars and the Chapo, the Fernandez, the Suarez, the Guzman, the Khan, the Joaquin. What good is your celebration when your country is being discussed from the West African region as a narco state, regionally as a narco state, internationally narco state? What kind of face that you have as a president you're sitting down to celebrate 179 years? You lie to the people. You fool the people. You lie to the people.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Working for your stomach. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people lost us. The government betrayed us. So the people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betrayed us. We tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed and now unique they deceive us. They think we thought it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you lie? There's things to be. We just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you screw us. You use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people lost us. The government betrayed us. So the people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on nobody. My hope that I have been broken. Tell you, brother. So back to schools. Where?
I beg you, you're listening good. You're listening to the wordings. Before we go back to this song, my guys summarize everything this drug atmosphere and Unity Party messy governance. You're listening. Here's the first one. Listen to the guys, how they describe them.
Today, what we get in return, what we get in appreciation is the colossal, gargantua, high cost of living.
Isn't it today? Is the country not going through high cost of living? People are not crying all over the place. Things that you were buying for 20 are gone to 30. That you were buying for 50 are gone to 7,500. Down to the least the least for years, from Ellen government to George Weah government, 12 years and 6 years, people shine their shoes for $20. It never went up to 25. In Bouaga government, it gone to 50. 50, imagine shoes. The listing shoes. Even a small dent on the shoes, you put it on the box for the guys to take it from there. When they take it off, don't put $20 in here. You put $20, they will say, Brabi, that 50, that other 50. And you will pay that 50. Don't bring joke in it. They will make sure you pay that 50. Because they're buying their goods very high. The marketers everywhere, yeah, the people complaining, go to buy. We say it because we experience it. We are part of the commerce. We are consumers. We consume the goods. And what do we use to get the goods for consumption? Money. So you don't go to the place, the people tell you, oh yeah, they want that this, they want that. They're giving the price and they're serious. And they will tell you why they have increased the price, because the Lawani men increase the price. The Lawani men too will say taxes high. Do you know that people now, they're not using the normal rights to bring their cars in, they're using Guinea, they're using the other areas. And what excuse did they give? What reason did they give? Because of the high tariff or taxes imposed. So they prefer the shortcut. Go to a used car business and attempt, when they call a press to you, you give her. 12 Ellen's government, it was reasonable. Weah government was reasonable. Bouaga government, everything claimed up by 3, 4. So what different the guys say? High cost of living. That's it. The high cost of living right now. It's not easy. In Weah's, in Ellen's government, I can't lie. In Ellen government, you find government officials relating. They will relate to you. They will conjugate the verb, even though not all. Weah time, it was the normal. It was the normal. You attempt any Weah's official, even if they can't give you all, they will give you some. It at $20, they will give you a. But individually, some of them, I mean, I'm talking on the average. Weah government officials, they were releasing, they were down to earth. They will even sit with you, some of them, the ones that I know, equal together. They want it. When I see ever saw them sitting down with anybody in Lapapido to equal. When I see ever saw anyone and then stopping, CDC government, when our official pass by you, you will see the car stop in front. You will think that somebody else. You will just hear the name. They say, oh, the president, I can call you a president. When you get there, George Weah government official. After your lecture for a while, the man drops something in your hand. Why United Party people crying? They're crying because their officials not doing it. Why? Because the people too, they realize that the country is hard, so they don't want to get managing it. High cost of living affecting the very government officials. They already mean the high cost come on top of it. That's what the guy saying.
What an opprobrium. What an odium. What gagatua. High cost of living. Gagatua. High cost of living. Gagatua. High cost of living. Gagatua. High cost of living.
The way my man can lay on the Gangatua and say, the mere verbal way. Gangatua. High cost of living. There you go. The mere very United Party government. See how you pronounce the word.
Gagatua. High cost of living. 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 What an opprobrium. What an odium. What an ignominious memento.
Exactly.
That even at the barbituration of the so much acclimatized by a scrupulous, fastidious, acclimatized by a scrupulous.
And many you describe me now, you see all these words on them. You did about it better.
Of the so much acclimatized
by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanical, boisterous, energetic, and a rooting but today for party affiliation, sentiments, for political somnambulism, but today for party affiliation, but today for party affiliation, but today for party affiliation.
What do you see them doing? And all of them muted themselves for party affiliation because they are part of the party. They are affiliating with Unity Party, so they mute themselves. They ain't talking anything. They prefer to protect that way their party than to speak out. That's why my man saying, yeah, for party affiliation.
Today for party affiliation. Today for party affiliation. Today for party affiliation. Sentiments. For political somnambulism and malocclusion, he has chosen to remain close-mouthed. For political somnambulism and malocclusion, he has chosen to remain. For political somnambulism and malocclusion, he has chosen to remain close-mouthed.
Close-mouthed means you can't talk. You seen it. You know it. It's wrong. But you close your mouth. That's why he means close-mouthed. All of them. You hear them talking about these drugs. That seditionists, MPC, CMC, and other Liberians who know the danger of it are talking. But the rest of the Unity Party people, down to their President Bouaka, remain close-mouthed, taciturn, reticent,
taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming. Meaning he has kowtowed in their poll.
So what it does what you then we'll go to our bed and then we get to the line. That's it. I see you.
It's in a political somnambulism.
That's it. That's the state the country is in right now. Complete. It's
in a political somnambulism and malocclusion. It's in a financial and economic bantigism. Look at the way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. The way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. The way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. The way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. What a political holy bully. What a political hoity-toity. What a political foodie-doody. What a political hocus-pocus they have come with. What a political jabberwock. What a political poppycock. What a political gobbledygook.
Well, I'm begging about if you're too very United Party people there, man. All the what for them?
What a political hoity-toity. What a political foodie-doody. What a political hocus-pocus they have come with. What a political jabberwock. What a political poppycock. What a political gobbledygook.
Yeah, my God, man. But man, feel sorry for them, man. I beg you, man. Feel sorry for them. Yeah, you didn't want to be okay, oh. Like I can blast with me.
What a political hoity-toity. What a political foodie-doody. What a political hocus-pocus you have come with. What a political jabberwock. What a political poppycock. What a political gobbledygook. With this consternation, I ask that you accept my pertinacious circumlocution. Accept my pertinacious circumambagous, grandiloquence, and magniloquence. But I will tell you this. I will not kowtow in Japoho. And I will tell you this. I will not kowtow in Japoho. I will tell you this. I will not kowtow in Japoho. I will refuse to kowtow in Japoho. Thank you.
And there where we are, we will not kowtow, and we are not kowtowing in their powo. No, that is why the atmosphere, we are keeping it hard. We are not giving in. Some of our colleagues have given in already. Some of our colleagues have given in. They have kowtowed in the investigative power. They have kowtowed in Unity Party's power. But we refuse to kowtow in their power. All right, so that's it. So let's go now. People have been sharing, stakeholders of all kinds have been sharing their views on this drug issue, the investigation, how it's going. And we have on the line Liberian academician, professor, and politician Arako Faklo. to share his thought. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Claw, and welcome to Kings 88.5 Real Talk.
Okay, Sam Andrew, thank you so much for the invite to share my own thought on this kind of issues that are reading around our country nationwide.
So let's get to the specifics. What do you make of the discovery first, then we get to the investigation? Did it come as a surprise to you?
Well, let me be very real to you. The issue of drugs is an issue that has been there from the one time to time, most especially when we got to know about the drugs business coming to Liberia as far back as in the 70s, but it was not like this. What we used to see and we used to know was this marijuana that people were smoking, this and all the kind of stuff. But then it became so conspicuous with the hardcore drugs from the past regime, from former President Weah time to this present. Because at the time of Tugbo, though, Madam Salif, it was not prevalent as it is with the kind of hardcore drugs we are now witnessing and hearing and the rest of it.
So now we have it in the country. Many people are referring to the country as a narco state. What's your description? Is it a narco state? Are we in a narco state?
Well, we could say, but we cannot say now for the fact that when you have a narco state, it means that every system within our society should be part and parcel of it. When I say narco state, if you check the police, you see that they get people there. If you go to the national legislature, you see people there. If you go to the judiciary and all across. But now it has not yet been proven that indeed all of these sectors, we have people there that are in the business of drugs until it is proven. So we cannot declare the state to be a narco state for now. We cannot say that until it has been proven that all of the sectors have been checked and they have people within. Because our cartel is an organized body that from all walks of life are part of that cartel. So when it is proven that indeed you check this sector, you can find people there. You check the other sector, you can find people there. But let's just use the three branches of government. Let's put in that form first. If it is proven that the three branches of government can be found within the issue of the issue of drugs, then we can agree that yes, indeed, because these three branches of government represent the entire country. So if it is proven that yes, indeed, within three sectors, you can find people who are within the business of drugs, then we can now say, yeah, we can now declare the state as a narco state.
What is your observation of the investigation? Firstly, talk about the 19.2 million investigation. You've got two different investigations here. There's the 19.2 million, and there is the second with unspecified number. Some people put it at 300 million, 157 million, 129 millions. What do you make of that investigation first before we get to the second, sir?
Okay, Mr. Andrews, I'm so disappointed in the ongoing investigation. When somebody will want to know why my disappointment stems from the fact that when you listen to those who are giving press briefing, you listen to those who are granting interview, even on the talk shows and the rest of that, they will never quote the drugs law. Because we are talking about drugs, and the drug has a law within our country. So if you were speaking to the drugs law, you're speaking to the drug, you should quote the law. What did the law say about the drugs or about drugs in our nation? What did the law say if somebody was caught? What does the law do? Or if somebody was suspected to be a part and parcel, what did the law speak to? But every issue on the drug that I listened to the police IG, he never quoted the drugs law. I listened to the LDA boss from the onset, he never quoted the drug law. I've listened to Justice Minister, he never quoted the drug law. I may be wrong, But as far as I've been listening to them, and I've listened to the press conference from the Minister of Information, I've never heard that. Because the reason for I'm speaking today is my disappointment. The public must be educated to this kind of thing. Because there are others that don't know what the drugs say. So now people are using speculation. Oh, the push that done there. Oh, the push that done there. The push that done that. Even if you read about the drugs that have to do with aggravating circumstances, if you read that, under what circumstance can somebody be held accountable? If you read the revised law, the revised law of the drug law, if you read it, the act speaks to an aggravating circumstance that can hold anybody by the court. Because if you read it, let me just give you an example. Just hold on there. Let me just give you an example, then you know what I'm talking about. Because I don't like to talk with this thing without a backing. The drug law says here, under the aggravating circumstances, what can happen when the person was processed to court. Here's what the drug law says on that. It says, number one, because under we have a lot of bullet points. I'm coming. Okay. If you read 14.99 under the revised law, you will see that aggravating circumstances. They say if a person is convicted of an offense under this subchapter, the court imposing sentence shall consider factual circumstances which make the commission of the offense serious, such as what? The involvement in the offense of an organized criminal group to which the defender belongs. Now, that's the first circumstance that you can hold somebody by. If you find out that this person belongs to the kind of group, what do? The law must take your course. The state must take the matter to court. So the court will be able to impose a sentence. But everyone just speaking to drug because they want to confuse the Liberian populace, they can't speak to anything. What did the drug law say? You must educate the Liberian people. People are blind. Even if you look at 14.98, it talk about distribution, use, or proceeds confiscated and or forfeited. Because if the man went to court, he processed went to court, and the man was supposed to be, the man is guilty. What do? They say you should confiscate his property. He will forfeit every other thing. But the distribution of that proceeds must be 25% to 50%. All of those things, they say you should do that. Because when you do so, it helps you a lot. Now, people are being arrested from the onset of the 19.2 million. My own take is saying drug deal is a drug deal. On a drug deal, if you went to drug deal, anyone that is caught in that process, deal with the person as well. Don't be calling other people until they make and call people anymore. That person must be processed immediately to court. Some people are being arrested, and those are incarceration about arrest. They should have been processed to court, but now the 24 hours are gone.
But there has been a series of arrests according to the government. They made a couple of arrests, and there's ongoing court hearing of Paul King, the guy whose house the drug was found in, head of the CLSG at the airport.
Yeah. So, but Sam, you are not getting my point. The drug law says if somebody was caught in the process, the person must be processed to court. And now you, as an IG or the police or the DA, whichever investigation, because you have done the preliminary investigation. After you have done your preliminary investigation, the next thing to do now, after that 72 hours, take the man to court. You can't keep the man himself. Take the man to court. If the man is found guilty, now you can't use the drug law again as I read it. the aggravating circumstances, and at the same time, they want to call the distribution of proceeds, the use of proceeds from the confiscated property and the rest of it. That's how you do it. That's the drug law saying it. But you cannot keep the man in jail. They say you are investigating. Investigating what? Is that what the Liberian law say? The Liberian law say if somebody was taken to jail after 3 days, you must carry the man or to court. You cannot wait for the group of people. The man is already caught. You cannot wait for a group of people. You must call a group of people before you start. No. If they are doing so, what they are doing is to confuse the Liberian. At the end of the day, we may not get anything good.
No.
So what we are saying is those first group of people that were caught, processed in court. Let them be processed through the court. Let the court come with their own verdict, their own ruling. Then they will use the drug law to be able to impose a sentence or whatsoever. The one thing saying.
Now, the one we are currently faced with, are you convinced too that it's going on track? They are actually following the pattern of the drug investigation, or you suspect compromise?
Same. Equally so, as I said, within the drug law, something they call additional penalty or sanction for non-Liberians. Those guys that were caught day before yesterday, but now we're sort of hearing that they are in court. It is on our jurisprudence. So take the people to court. If the men are amazed to the crime, deal with the man according to the drug law. You see why they say here? They say in addition to any penalty and or sanction provided by this subchapter, a non-Liberian who is convicted of the commission of any crime provided in this subchapter upon serving his or sentence and or sanction shall be immediately deported from Liberia. So take the man to court. If the man is found guilty, what the Liberian law say and what the drug law say, deal with the man as such. They say after you can accept whatsoever sentence or the time, then he can be deported. That's what the drug law says. So it does not call for, let's take our own time, let us do this, let us do that. Like those two guys, their own is clear. Parking is clear. The two guys, their own is clear. They were caught red-handed, they were the drugs. So what are you waiting for to carry into the court? So when you do that, people will be suspecting that government wants to compromise. If you do that, because delay in the military is dangerous. But now the post will be processed to court.
You heard about the monetary aspect, 10,000 United States dollars. The deputy head for crime services, LNP, the police director himself confirmed that he received 10,000 United States dollars to compromise the investigation, if not the entire, but the investigation. What do you make of that? And later on, the information came out that the police boss himself allegedly received portion of the money.
So see where we are going to the same? Is that what I'm telling the public? You see where we are going to? I told you, Sam, mind you, my brother and friend, in Liberia, they are listening to me. We cannot delay draw issue. Draw case is not just that kind of case. Because by now we should declare the draw a national emergency at the first thing. National emergency. So that dilly-dally they are doing, that way, and they put confessing, they will call the people. While they are going to court, they will be confessing. Take the man to court. Let him say to the court. You as the DA, you first report through the police, because the police is the first phase of our jurisprudence. So now the first and foremost thing the police need to do now is get a man's statement. Having gotten a statement, you process them to court with their charge sheet. Then they will go to the court now. Let them say what is going to say. If they are saying that we are admitting to the crime, the commission of the crime, then the drug law must take a course. Sam, that's what we are saying. That's my own argument and that's my disappointment about the government not fast tracking this kind of case, because the case must be fast tracked. It will be fast tracked because the more you delay, the more problem will come, And at the end of the day, we may not get anything from it. The whole thing will just be in limbo.
So you are cynical of getting anything significant from it?
That's my skepticism. Because when you delay, as I said earlier, why would you want to delay with the kind of case? Why? But now the police are being caught. You're now talking to the people behind the scene as police, you're waiting because the 3 days are gone, 4 days are gone. The 3 days are gone. Why are the police waiting for the president to go to court? What are they waiting for? So now, if you are going that route, it might be people will be suspecting that you want to do certain things that are not correct. You want to play far. Be a far play. Do not delay with the kind of case. The drugs is destroying our society. The drugs is destroying our society. The drugs law are there. Why they can't speak to the drug law? They want to bypass the drug law because they want to keep you in darkness. There are other people that have opportunity to have the kind of drug law or document. So now you, at that level, you should educate the public. Here's what the drug law is saying. But they're not telling anybody anything. See? They don't go on the radio, we call people the night. Yeah, what the drug law says, you call people with drugs. So it's unfortunate that those who are the high echelon in security, they cannot speak, they cannot quote drug law. They are just doing it out of their head. Is that what you do? If the lawyer wants to quote and the lawyer is speaking, the lawyer will speak according to the law of the land. So you now, the drug has its own law. This identical revised something it was revised in 2023, July 19, 2023, it was revised. The act that created this. So what they admitted was the sub-chapter of this drug law. There was a sub-chapter. So saying, for me, a little bit very frank, because the title of this document is, they say an act amend chapter 14, offenses involving danger to person. What is the title? 26, Penal Code, Liberia Code, revised by adding thereto subchapter E under the title Control Drug and Substance Act of 2023. And it was approved.
And you've been following the trend of the investigation on a daily basis. Are you aware of the revelation that came out that you got 3 people from the 3 branches of government allegedly involved, even though one of them, Senator Blebo Brown, said that the guy is not his biological son, but one that he read up, sent to school and left the house because he is a man, and the other ones, and there are a couple of names coming up. Earlier you said that in narco state, if the 3 branches are involved or the entire sector of the fulcrum of the government is involved, then you can consider that a narco state. Now, the information is out that you've got the 3 branches of government involved, allegedly.
No, then, Sam, we should not get it wrong. In drugs deal, this is why when somebody wants to incorporate you into a drugs deal, they will ask you whether you're brave or you're not brave. If you say, oh yeah, I can go into it, then they will tell you that if we are sending you out and you are caught, I don't know you, you don't know me. So Senator Blebo Brown is saying that he read that child and the child, he has the right to test it. You cannot tell Senator Blebo Brown, no, you know what the draw say. I continue to go by my reference to Vodia, the representative. Just are missing the first name of Vodia. No, Representative Vodia from Grand Bassa County in the 80s. He was caught with drugs at the Kennedy airport. Somebody gave him the bag to hold. Allegedly, somebody gave me a bag to hold. Allegedly. Then, at the Kennedy airport, the station dog discovered that this man was carrying drugs. When they asked him, well, this bag, is it for you? So that for me, it's about you holding the bag. so So, okay, where's the president get it back? The president cannot be found. Should American government delay that kind of discussion? Should they say no, by all costs, you got to bring the people or you got to bring the president? No.
So we aren't in. Yeah, I want to get to the line. We aren't in a narco state, but by your insinuation or your description, we are gradually getting into a narco state.
Until it can be proven, that's what I said. Until it can be proven. But you can now hold somebody another person who have been arrested, say, oh, St. Andrew, he part of it. Say you have everybody say, no, I'm not part of it. Why you go celebrate? No, you cannot stand out that way.
Have you ever thought that senior officials of the Liberia National Police will give in to bribe in this drug thing? Have you ever thought that they could do it?
Same. You say the IG admitted that he got part of the money. Is that what you are saying?
No, he's implicated. He's implicated.
But did he say that he received part of the money?
He implicated.
Okay, if he's implicated, this person who tried to implicate him, you cannot hold the IG that kind of way. The only thing you can do, the man who received the money and tried to pass the money to the IG, under our law, if you respect the legal system of this country, bribery is a crime by itself. So once the man admitted that he had received 10,000 and you are trying to distribute it to the IG to whosoever, the idea is under that person must be processed to court because under our law, bribery under the law of Liberia is a crime.
Do you believe or not that senior government officials are allegedly involved or have their hands in this cocaine importation and exportation?
It could be said because if those who are involved with the issue of drugs, they cannot be so brave. They do not have a connection in a high up. So it is possible. I will not be brave, and I'm a non-Nigerian. I live in Nigeria. If I don't have connection with a high up, I will not put myself in the business of drugs or in the business of illicit, or things. But if I have a backing, I will do that. So it is possible that those who are exporting and importing drugs, they have people who are the high echelon of power. So it makes them so brave.
Before you go, Professor Claw, forecast the end of this drug investigation. Paint a picture. How is it going to end?
As I said earlier, if government delays, not to process those people to court, the first set of people they are arrested, it means that 10 in Liberian parlance, it will be a black. It will be a black in Liberian parlance, but it will be something no hair, no tail. Let's just put it that way. It will be hair, no tail.
So you suspect, or you're living with the conviction that is going to be a cover-up is taking place, and the outcome might just be history.
Yeah, but I continue to say it is possible because one government, as I said earlier, delays in the military is dangerous. Why would you want to delay with the case? Something that is glaring. But now it should be processed to court, be investigated. After they might have found guilty or not guilty, they leave them alone. But if they are found guilty, the drug law speak to that these people must be sentenced. The sentence must be imposed on them. If they serve their sentence, if they are not Liberian, they serve their sentence, you let them go, deport them. That's all. If they are Liberian, all property they have, even those guys, whether you are not Liberian or you are Liberian, by the time you are being caught with a drug, they begin now to look for your property, vehicle, whatsoever. According to the drug law, that year, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking from the drug law that before me. Those people, those property must be confiscated. After confiscation, they say, the proceeds from that identical property that have been confiscated must be shared 25%, 25%, and 50%. But I will tell you who the 25% will go to, the second 25% will go to, and the 50% who they go to. They talk about the police. They talk about. Let me just read it to you quickly. Let me read it quickly before I can go. Let me read it to you quickly. if the property was confiscated and sold, the proceeds, what the proceeds will be, how the proceeds going to be used. Because our people fail to educate the Liberian people.
Yeah, that you have as what the Lord said. But are you aware of the announcement made yesterday by the Justice Minister on the same confiscation of those who they took, the house they took the recent drug consignment from, and the previous one, Paul King? The Justice Minister also did announce the confiscation of their properties, their house.
Fine. Then that the drugs law is going by. It's not a own thing. It's going by the drugs law. That's what I'm saying. Because they say when those properties are being confiscated, and those things, those people, those proceeds, the proceeds from their property, it should be sold. After having done that, you should distribute 25% to drug and control substance abuse rehabilitation programs. That the first 25% that the place the money will go. Then the second 25% to drug and control substance law enforcement program. The way that other 25% will go. Then the 10% to the general revenue of the Liberian government. That is distributed.
Is President Joseph Boakai proactive or passive in this? Is President Joseph Boakai passive or proactive leadership-wise in this drug wahala?
If you pass it, the first and foremost thing, when the president made that statement, for me, I had issue with that. The issue was the president talked about even people going abroad to join their counterpart to investigate. Why you do all the while for a waste of time? That you will not leave any stone unturned. That waste of time. If as a president you want to speak to that, be decisive. Be decisive and be strong. Now, if the statement made by him, it was very strong. All these things they are doing, the dilly-dally they are doing, they will now even delay in prosecuting the people. But what they are doing, as I see it, is a bluff, man bluff.
So he hasn't shown from your observation, he hasn't shown the kind of proactive leadership required of him, given the severity of the drug or cocaine situation in our country.
But the issue is, even that one statement, that one sentence issue as a president, that those drugs people now will be processed to court immediately because you want to fast track it. That's what you do. That one sentence, you're not going to go through all that plenty talking about they make the president to speak to, and, you know. You understand that? All that one, you cannot do that. That one sentence the president should have used. Liberian people, all those that will be caught with drugs, those people must be processed immediately to court. If you know with that, you're not going to talk, you know what you're going to do there, and no. It's just one sentence. Just one sentence. Because when you put long thing within the issue, that statement, you don't want to confuse the entire people.
All right.
And what happening now?
All right. All right, Mr. Chloe, let's have your pardon comment, and then we'll bring on the next person. Thank you for accepting our invite at a short notice. Let's have your pardon comment, sir.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm so delighted to be called to speak to this issue that really affecting our nation, our youth, everyone. You know, drugs, as I said, should be declared national emergency. It should not be something that will be swept under the carpet. And let me be very real. I'm on record now. Anyone that will compromise the issue of the drugs, thunder will fire them.
What kind
God
of
will strike them?
What kind of thunder?
The wrath of God will chase them because our children, our youth are suffering.
You pray that to God?
The nation is bleeding.
You told God that?
That would be my prayer. Now, Father, anyone that will compromise the issue of their drugs, they will be fired by thunder.
And when you were pray, when you pray that prayer to God,
we on it already.
You're taking 3 days fast and prayer for that?
It's not an issue of prayer. We will continue to pray. We'll continue to say that. We'll continue to say You know, God never delay, depending on the gravity of the case. God never delay. You know what happened to our nation, Sam? You're looking at the nation bleeding. You go this way, you see some of the young people, you don't understand anything. Young women or everybody inside. Then these people, they have their children there enjoying themselves abroad and wherever, even in the country, they give their children good food, good money, good things. Then other poor children suffering. Is that fair to the nation? It's not being fair to the nation. So the nation is bleeding. And when the nation is bleeding, there will be a lot of injustices that will be happening. Because the nation is bleeding because of injustice. The nation is bleeding because there's no peace. The nation is bleeding because of all these kind of funny things that are happening in our country. That's what the nation is bleeding for. So then you will sit back and say, "Oh, you know, I'm a big shot. So, hello, gentlemen, you put that thing on a carpet. God will fire that other person there."
Thank you, Professor Claw. I appreciate you, man, for coming on. Thank you,
so
sir.
much. Thank you as well.
All right.
It's always my pleasure.
All right. That is Claw explaining or giving his position on the outcome or the investigation, how it is going. It compromise investigation, complete compromise. Let's have this break. Then when we come back, we turn to you to have your say. It will be your time on Real Talk to talk real. All right, so let's go to you now. It's your turn to have your say. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Hello.
That's good.
Let's go with this. Hello.
Honorable, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good as always. And you?
Okay. Well, Sam, this is about Malcolm Domain joined with very close to VOA well before taking a big talk on the recent time. But Sam, the 19.5 million or 2 million, and that part of the one, so which one better are we discussing? Because now it seems a bit that we are forgetting about the 19 now.
No, all in one. That is same cooking, chief.
yeah, we don't plan this, so you know what
No, in separate. There are two different numbers, but the same issue. 19.2 is different from 300 or 175. They're different figures, but the same content. The content is the same.
Yeah, but if I want to understand something, so the 90 and the 3 million something, which one is more higher than a franc?
No, it's not about who is high or what is high. It's the content, the intent rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I don't really know because I don't really know. But tonight I'm waiting by the grace of God because sometimes we say he had 2 persons in there, 2 lawmakers, 3 lawmakers. Means to court tonight. So I've been waiting to listen to them. But I pray for Sam. Let God do something for us. Seriously. Let God do something for us. Thank you, brother.
God can do anything for you, Warren. You're not willing to do for yourself, oh. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Have a nice day. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
How you doing, Mr. Andrew?
I'm doing good, just as you are. Yeah, let's hear you.
Mr. Andrew, it's getting very serious. Because I listen to what else that you know now. This time we don't want to listen to what else. We don't listen to what else anymore. What else was that? Pirate bar is 9 inches. 14 is 9 inches. According to what else? The information man, they measure 49 inches. Pirate bar man 9 inches. What's going on? What's going on? What else was that? Two representatives.
And you believe it?
I believe it. Then you don't listen to the man. Well, we don't want to listen to the man. I believe it. The man can talk. The man can talk to Andrew before when they pour in power. They say what else food you can talk to. So I believe what else food. Every morning we get out one. I can call my city. They know what else food line there. Because what is going to be doing?
Oh, so you believe in him now? Eh?
Oh, believe it, man. And I also from the minister. I don't know, minister. In the morning, they call my city. My city, they just full out there. My federal bank, Spencer, they just full out there. What I want to listen to swear more than say that criminal. Oh, my brother can be on look for the school.
Okay.
For the two rule on what I want to smoke, the two long what arrogant. So
Okay.
let's see, they just when I defeat.
All right, madam.
What I do,
Okay.
take him as I do.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Jefferson Sleba calling from the Virginia Speaker District number 11. So, Mr. Andrew, Mr. Koki President Bwaka and his guests are criminally dragging our country image into the mud. That was the law who were opening the mud yesterday talking that the country is accepted today. Not only the country, but the image of the country internationally has been drawn into the mud in the deeper part of the certain and there where we are now. So, Mr. President, if you are disconnected from your own government, try and do the best and see about this cookie. You will be remembered in the history as the West and sleeping president who is disconnected with own government and wicked thing as going on cookie eventually Liberia has become the cookie state now. Thank you.
Have a nice day too. Hello.
Hello, Sir Andrew.
Yes, let's hear you.
Okay, Sir Andrew. My name is Sylvester Conan, and I'm joining you from Single Village. Then, NSA was Police Inspector General Gregory Cuomo. Then, tell me, you the boss for this place here. You go in your mail, offer your mail, receive money, your mail, enter that with the money. You not get enough money, you get enough cost. So, every other thing school share last year, like two. Gregory Cuomo here is in the just business. Gregory Cuomo, I know that man, good. That makes sense. We giving them time. When the weekend, next week, the information that will blow in the country here, you think I said, I think they will get a papi pressure there. Them the jobs are in the country, bro. The jobs are in the country. The information that it get correct. Everyone knows. If everything will come to go smooth, will come to get correct, still menu. For you to share your more in minute.
How you know that? How you reach that amount? 60 million?
I said 60 million. Why you talking? Did you have plus jobs? Did you have plus million? What you talking, sir? The judge that was a small one,
Okay. All right, Chief. Okay.
Sir. Thank you for the time.
Hello, men's line on the other end.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, this is Edmund Carr. I'm proud member of Constitutional Library for Justice. I agree with almost everything that Mr. Claus said, especially when it has to do with fast tracking the prosecution, because I was even kind of not disappointed, but surprised at the one who called himself just the minister. You went to the site where you read the 400 million trust. These individuals that you thought they were present, you arrested them with sophistication instruments that they are using, including arms, internet, drone, David soup. But yet in a press conference, he failed to tell the librarian that he got in charge of the court, but he still considering approaching your interest. I wonder why the letter wanted to brag, for whatsoever that is in that police cell. That is the reason why they are keeping those guys at the police cell under air conditions. The drone law is not available. You arrest the people out of the evidence is not available. Charge and sentence, they are the one that will be able to bring their proof to fight how they can vindicate themselves. But you want to keep the people, vindicate them yourself before you send them all after you receive your million. Then over there, you carry them at the border, you put them at the crossing to Sierra Leone. Then it is announced that They ran away from the country. That's a serious thing. And then you talk about the president. The president went to our time the last one with our press conference. Oh, nobody will be left unchecked. We know when you commit a crime in our country, you are not supposed to be let go. Punishment is executed against you. So we needed you to tell us that nobody will not be touched or cartel will be broken, all of those stuff. You can just tell them that people pull up. They see the way looking at our country, fast track, your preliminary investigation, send the people to court so that we will know what is happening. That's all, but you just wasted our time at our time. And then what did they say? I was having a voice view the other day is about what concerning the country as a narco state. If you, all three branches will be involved. But they will say, but then we are there. Because what happened during our government time? When the guys, was arrested, when the guys were arrested, with the trial taken to court, charged. And then they said, nothing, you gotta leave and go.
All right, Mr. Khan.
To the full bench, they said the ruling was okay. They ordered the citizen government to turn everything that was taken from the guys over, including money, to turn it over, all the stuff that the guys left the country. What are we saying? Then the former boss of Bwaka DA went to the press briefing and said all the three branches of government are part of this drug thing, so it is difficult to fight. What else
Okay, Chief. All right.
Obviously, if that is the only time that he's waiting for to control the country as a narco state, seriously, we are there. Have a nice day, sir.
Okay, you too, Mr. Carr. Let's go out of Liberia and speak with Joseph Colley. Hello? Hello?
How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? I'm Sam Andrews. And to Mama Liberia, this is Joseph Curry calling from New York. Oh, bro, Andrews, you see the problem. The one make it difficult for those guys, finding the guys at the police cell is like, these guys be lying and dying with these guys. They know them well. They are their police. So they look in their face to be brave and taking them, processing it, and sending them to South Beach. They can get her situation. So now we want to move on. Over there, they will start away the police guys and we tell them, to pass all your, little things that they can all. So that when you guys go over there, they want to keep them over there for. Because as the police say, why will you arrest somebody who has committed a crime? Can you the judge keep the person in the cell in the how do you call it? The place there more than 4 or 5 days? You are to process the person and send it to court, but you know what is delusional. The same thing that you did for how do you call it? When this guy who wrote the law and give me his certificate, you're police, you're a law enforcer, you're not judge. But you know, these guys, they're all reacting, they know, they're serious. So they just see that the guy only their command. You know, gosh, remember he committed police processing and saying, oh, jail. But you know the thing, Dominic and Ronnie with these guys, they all are they can be for the situation. So they all gotta be there talking to these people and talking with others. Because you can't tell me that they're $19.something million. Then they even go like a month. We talk about $300-something million. All of us. You know the destruction of the person or the children. Some of them, the little kids that were taking the dog out, they kind of funny thing. There were a lot of them dying in a few days. Because I just heard somebody, a friend of mine called me and told me, say, a little boy died for those same things. Because these are not jokes. Okay, it's not a joking thing. I'm telling you, these people, people gotta be serious, man. You're looking at the future of this future, you don't care because you're there now, you cross up to the grave. Is this what the people brought you for? You brought you to be selling drugs now and things in the nation? Because Trump is saying it's wrong time. It's hard for you to go 2 hours without hearing about drugs before.
All right, sir. All right, Colin.
And now, even outside in the nation, it's very unfortunate, man. But we all gotta be praying. Man, we ain't got to be on this. Thank you guys for the hard work you guys are doing. We really appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Thank you too. Have a nice day there in the United States. Hello?
Yeah,
Miss?
thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Mr. Andrew, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from Down Coast Spoon Hill, West Town Community, a member of Concern Librarian for Justice. Mr. Andrew, thank you very much. Firstly, Mr. Andrew, in my mind, Bauko, what Bauko said at the time, the Deputy DEA Director at the time, what he said, his revelation is indeed being validated today. And every Liberian are seeing what he did say at the time. The man said it, he said the drug issues in our country is entrenched. You find it in the 3 branches of government. Today, are we not seeing it? Senior government officials, hands are being cut in the bucket and in the cookies jar. What else can they tell us? Look, Mr. Andrew, some of us, when we look at what is happening, then we begin to think and we begin to look at why President Weah was being criticized on an unprecedented level. It was these guys, because of their desperate quest to come and make Liberia out of a narco state, or because President Weah did not get them the opportunity at the time to drag or carry on their clandestine activities. That's why everything about President Weah was moving like a wildfire. Today, Liberians are seeing a glaring reality. People who are supposed to provide security for us, today they are taking money to compromise drug issue. When their children are in America going to the best of all schools, they are making our children to be useless. And like how they make us to be useless and later refer to us as third generation. Those people, President Boakai, in my mind, you have failed the Liberian people. If this was a civilized country, President Boakai, you are just asked you for resignation. You need to forget the executive. You have lost the trust of the Liberian people. Henceforth, President Boakai, you are no longer trustworthy for the presidency, and you need to do the right. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for calling. Have a nice weekend. Let's get to the women's line, then we'll show you something. The president, vice president in Bonga, they went to a religious ceremony, Islamic, but the countenance of the vice president is not really encouraging in some kind of way. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Yes, good afternoon.
Calling from Johnsonville, Concern Librarian for Justice. Andrew, thank you very much. Andrew, you are asking patient Grace, so you can listen to Waterspoon. Now I will listen to him. Because yes and yes, like Waterspoon, you know, probably was listening to we come.
No, but you ought to listen. Are you all right? That's your right.
No.
No, the question was
Andrew, they probably Waterspoon on the thing that you say against President Weah. They will not factor. You get me? They will not factor everything. Stand a platform and say we dating, confess. We dating. So President Weah, let's go shepherd, let's go have mercy. That is it. So let's go for dating that we need to do. Because we Waterspoon, we need to plunge the country here closer to kill. Closer when starting people to Black Galley Junction. And we know that not true they were speaking or because of death, because of country nature in power. So it's not then that the reason they were using that it starts the barrier against President Weah. You get me? But because the people are tolerant, that's why they not listen to them. And today, that will also went on a platform and compare that we get into President Weah. Let President Weah forgive for. And the rescue that we are in the people water that we bring and the rescue here, that's why you confess it today. And the reason we are listening to him. Let me tell you, we get on the street to put nothing come from all of when they come from all of 1 year, we work on the international community, we're not going to see again. Then they come and investigate again. If they not investigate well, we will want our people to now to move to people in power. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for calling. Have a nice day. Let's bring on Maria Kuhlman. Hello.
Good afternoon, Semanju from where I sit. For the recognition, Ms. Blamo Kuhlman, I phone in from Woodbridge, Virginia, the USA. And let me say good afternoon to the peace-loving people of Mama Liberia and happy pre-independence to all peace-loving people of Mama Liberia. I want to appreciate you for affording me the opportunity for my view to be aired this afternoon. I found your talking points and from the learned professor in Professor Kofa Claw. For what I want to do, because we are Liberian, we have been talking, we have been following the trend of the whole drug saga, ranging from June 8th up to now. And everything along the way we have said, it have been coming to pass. The revelation have been coming to pass. The entire investigation has been compromised. So it is now that every Liberian rise up and pressure the international community that we have vote on no confidence in the government in the investigation. Let international partners come on board to investigate. You don't need a fortune teller, you don't need a magician to tell you that Gregory Coleman, the police RG, has been highly compromised. He's not the head of the joint security, but everywhere in joint security meeting, even at the Senate, Gregory Coleman will jump the boat to talk. That is to simply tell you that this man is being heavily compromised, and this, like Kofa Claus said, the investigation will end nowhere. It will be flat. If the Liberian people only sit as a spectator and keep talking and not taking action by sanctioning our international partner to get involved, I can say Liberia is heading for a narco state. So I'm appealing to all patriotic Liberians because I'm an indirect victim of this drug. My cousin is on drug. My older brother's son is on drug. So it's not about political assassination. It's the issue of a joint effort to see our partner involvement because we don't have interest, we don't have confidence in the security system. So that is my thing.
Also asking me to continue.
People of Liberia, happy pre-independence.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Wish you the same. Let's get to the women line here. Hello, madam. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yep. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you, the Evie. They saw. They were setting the Isa. They said it Isa. They go come out Isa. They said my baga Isa. God President Isa. What else we were talking about me? We listen to what else as soon as emissions come. I get away. What come out the ground? They back it against what? I don't know what I said. And I be saying that what else move? They back it. They know about that law. And they will family with family. They were too boom. They put the talking about like that now. They family. They will family. What else we not done? And listen to what else for every man. They know about it. Yeah? They know about it. But Isa. Yamaya Isa. What about Isa? They know about it. Thank you, man.
All right, my Bessie, have a nice day. Men's line, hello. You went off back to the women's line. Okay, men's line back. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew. Good afternoon. Hello?
You are on the air, Chief.
Thank you. My name is Levi Semi, and I'm calling from Chicken Republic. They are probably a proud member of Concern that went for justice. What Mr. Andrew is the issue of their money, the 10,000 that we're talking about. No one I believe that gets it in the law of the money. The fact is that you want somebody up there to give them money. Why you don't want this to give you or share the money? And you put up the money. So get it in the law. So that is the issue. Continue to say that get it should share the tax. Because get it when I know he's that money the FOC. But then he said he gave it 2,000, then he took 8,000. So why you call that one? That compromising and getting a daily, the investigation. That means get it in the law. Then he step down. That's all the only way just to get result for the case. But it's so because almost all the Dion commandos, according to commando, the Dion officer or senior officer, every one of them is in the law of this job. You tell me, get it, now in the law, get it is there, bro. That is kind of country we get for now. They are telling cookies, say, oh, when we go now, God, just get for the red, you selling red. That is kind of draw the king of France. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Is this King FM?
Yes, this is Kings 88.5.
Oh, this is Mark Brown. I'm from New Jersey. What the judge thing is very disturbing, and I hope. Hello?
You are on the air, Mark.
Yeah, okay. So it is very disturbing, and I hope the way we are discussing this, we should continue. And there are information that we are hearing. I don't know how true it is that some people in the CDC hands will be in the drugs. And we should discuss it the same way we're discussing it other people today.
Man, we're talking CDC.
Start coming out, we should still be discussing it, and, in the form and manner in which we are calling for the people to come and intervene. So the information is there. Seditions are the ones that know about the drugs. It is clear. They built the cartel during the 6 years of George Weah, and the government is trying to dismantle it. So when that name starts to come up, we should also discuss it the way we call it other people in government. Thank you so much.
All right. So at least for now, the Unity Party people, your Unity Party people we're discussing. So leader that what you're wishing for, it will never happen. The Unity Party officials, yeah, the thing here, but here go. The United Party officials who investigating CDC on finish that history, that way back. Hello. Yeah. I good.
My name is Nathaniel.
Yeah.
Who can say a soldier? But let me tell you something. Let the Liberian people, they will not take it for granted to say, that the other party something. They won't put our hand together to what see about the drop in it. We want to get out of politics. You see?
You there? You gone off, Chief. Women's line. Hello?
Oh, G Spanner.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, thank you. Now instead of saying I'm not too well, but I didn't listen to your show. It's my little buggy driver.
Oh, that's small deal. You know what I mean? A weekend eating tabagi.
Oh, but I buggy, got it. Got a driver to buggy. You can focus on the ground. It don't eat. Oh, and he say they cannot tie the buggy driver.
Okay, let's hear you. At least you have something. Others don't have not.
Yeah, thank God. I get very in my stomach today. Well, you feel it better ball, you put a little just say, you say, you put the buggy, or you put it, you put it whatever. The buggy, please don't read it.
What they call berry?
Oh, why you did get berry, Papa? Oh, you know, eh?
On plenty point eating in Boaga government.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for me, I want to get it. So I want to that the buggy driver.
They say that berry, you can make you well, you can tell where you're a chloride.
Somebody can be or B, but I think now.
So you just find out you bow.
Can you suppose to make any B? And I'm very put in there.
Okay, let's hear you.
Thank you, this Baralo. Every time I say thank you, my son, it's doing very well for us, for the Lamben people. The people were buying a for look, I listen to the Babe Twitter man or like Nigeria man. I never enjoy we will not buy into that for we will not listen.
Oh, you mean the grammar?
I'm telling you, I can enjoy that man. I can want to him, I'm doing that. Oh,
so where the man you're you? You're there.
It's in a political somnambulism and malnutrition. It's in a financial and economic bantigism. Look at the way the game politics is becoming a problem.
I'm not coming here.
They make a blast. You know the party government is describing so.
You know they try to look. The men of the try to buy the boy and they government back. We have fragile government. You know they describe them. Well, I'm buying that poho. That's true. We have poho. No, but our full station that they play for poho station. They used to listen to poho. Today we are out of power. There was 3,000 votes. I think we are out of power. So when you drinking cocaine and we're talking about you want to stop people at your business. Well, first of all, tell me say man for. I follow the man story. It's for legendary. Look, the English is not around but what be the day? Tell Andrew. The man tell it too. Look, the drug guy who law. Don't back party. Get a come don't back party drugs law. Let the folk go to folk. The very get their stuff. Don't do that to the country, everything. Your knee inside. Then men who say they get us, I know 10K, you say 8,000, who they want to say in the same aju, or like you don't want to say, like, who people when you carry, when they put out of police, he bring out 2 million back in the police, because they see in the people, they know when they get us someone not die. So if police see me by the police, that convention must be there. So take all the brothers, because to in the message, they get up money, give me money, I carry to the RG, or you deny that, that's you. But what you same aju, for life, they to the be back. They're going to 1 year plus now. So the people they say info, so you lie on them, so they be my son. My big brother to the behind, you win a case, you flag the government, you stay behind, that is still lie. But today somebody can say, I gave you money, you take 2,000, and give it to me, you take AG, say I lie. And for all they play for me, the men I doing, that man doing an error. He believe you just telling, an error. They put a lie, and next thing will go to the bottom part of it. So don't love me because I dress you. You know, that's why what I don't want to say, I don't for messing, I get up for it. I want to buy to a post, go in bed line, and say for me, oh. I get up for it, but we'll tell them, it will be met, but government, to tell who be the first like it or not, they will tell we are 100 million, but they want to cook. And one land on the soil, eat chip, and they track it. They want to cook, and they put there, there was no good evidence. So they put and they burn it. But who enter houses? They got warehouses, they get pocket, they get weight bed, they get it all bed, they get pocket time. Tell me, what going to what heading? I'm studying what talk about pastor. What I will tell who be the job. You were in there yesterday, shaky. Yeah, I know, for me now, woman. Today, we see just coming to the country, a best saw here, the 13 cabinet to another country. The 2 layers go free with people, Baka. They RG, they are move on, they get it, water. Let you get water. We want 2 pounds, the whole job.
All right, G-Spot.
Imagine. No, nobody not for whole, yeah, my brother. Thank you for that walk.
Okay, G-Spot.
Many are enjoying bar, what they were all saying that they enjoy it in the bar with. And there is one by the thank you.
The man come here, just listen, the man come here. Unity Party before.
It's in a political somnambulism and mallocution. It's in a financial and economic bantigism. Look at the way the game politics is becoming a bugaboo. What a political holy bully. What a political hoity-toity. What a political foodie-doody. What a political hocus pocus they have come with. What a political jabberwock. What a political poppycock. What a political gobbledygook. With this consternation, I ask that you accept my pertinacious circumlocution. Accept my pertinacious circumambagous, grandiloquence, and magniloquence. But I will tell you this. I will not koto in Japoho. I will refuse to koto in Japoho. Thank you.
Okay. We will not koto. They want us to koto in their power, but we will not koto in their power. We will not give in, will not be a part of it in any given way, no matter how they try. When we koto, then we go silent. And when we are silent, it means that we have given in. We have agreed to be a part of what they are doing. That's what the expression power is. Power is a meeting, a program, a plan that they have best suited for them. And you see it as not being good, not right at all, but they use their persuasive mentor that you be a part of them, you get involved, you do as the one, you will not expose anything. When you refuse to be a part of that meeting or that program or that plan, you are not kotoing. If you agree and you are a part, then you have koto. That means you have given in. You are part of it now. You are part of that coup. You're part of that court. You're part of that arrangement. You're part of that evil plan. You're part of just everything, meaning you have given in. Let's go home this way. Thank you all for spicing up. I want you to see something. The president is in Grand Bassa. The celebration of Liberia's independence will be on Monday. Liberia will be 179 years old on Monday. 179 years. Liberia will be on Monday. The celebration is taking place in Grand Bassa County. Before the main program or celebration, Mr. President, alongside his vice president and other officials, are crisscrossing various events. Today, Mr. President was in one of the events, a religious ceremony, Islamic ceremony. They call in Mr. President through the not the superintendent, but the pro tem, who is from Bassa, Grand Bassa, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, to, in their words, appreciate Mr. President through her. And they were all there. Senator Gwezonga Finlay, pro tem Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Vice President Jeremiah Cohn, and the president himself with other officials. This drug cocaine pressure is having a serious effect on government officials. If you observe carefully, you'll see that most of them have reduced. Most of the government officials, they've reduced the pressure on them. Some of them have link, allegedly. They don't want their name to be called. That is psychological. They worry day and night. They have conversations here and there. They make telephone calls just so nothing will happen. And all of these things psychologically can have an impact on you, and you reduce with time. The vice president is in a gathering alongside Mr. President and the pro tem and Yombli Kanga Lawrence. But the vice president doesn't look normal, of a normal person, given the situation. If you look at the vice president's countenance, you tend look at other events and look at dates. Listen, look carefully. Look carefully. Look at the vice president countenance. Look at his position carefully. The same thing we observe from Fitzgerald Biago, the head of the Drug Enforcement Agency. The last meeting President Bouaka called, he nodded his head 3-4 times. He would sit back and then he would bend his head. He was just not himself. His countenance was completely different of his normal self. We see the same of the vice president. This is not to suggest that the vice president is involved or he's implicated, but this thing is having a toll on everybody. Everybody is having a toll. Watch carefully the VP countenance, his position in this gathering. There you see him. On his right is President Bouaka. His left is pro tem Yombli Kanga Lawrence, extension Senator Gwezonga Finlay. Please watch carefully.
Please, we also asking them to continue working in a good relationship with them. They appreciate your love. Thank you all so much. The Muslim community, the imams, those that came from far and near, want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for gracing this occasion. We appreciate you. Our elders have left from Monrovia to come here. They have lived from other places far and near. Thank you. Our elders have left from Monrovia to come. We appreciate you.
You see him? You see how he's sitting? You watch his position. Look at him. He will lay back this way. Wake up. Look at his face. He's just looking straight. too many things. You can tell that too many things. Though he's sitting there, it is a religious gathering. The vote of thanks is given, but too many things are running through his mind. Look at his position. Watch it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for basic education. We appreciate you.
Look this side,
Our elders
from
have
the
left
other
from
side,
Monrovia to
lay
come
back.
here. They are
There.
living all places
See how
far
he,
in here.
there, lay back like this. When you see that, the person is in a gathering, just like the people say that person body there, but the spirit off. Meaning psychologically, the person is there physically, but the person is thinking. Too many things running through the person's mind. You can tell that something is just not 100% right. You see, I don't even want to talk about Mr. President because that's just who he is by any. Yeah. Now, here's another thing in communication you want to know. President Boakai is the president. He is the chief newsmaker. He gets the camera on him more than any other person because he's the president. All of the cameras will focus attentively on the president as we see around. It will focus on the vice president when the president isn't around, and it is the vice president that is the chief newsmaker in that gathering. This one, Mr. President is sitting there, and the camera is focused on the vice president for a long time. And if you're not smart enough, you would think, or if you will develop no curiosity, you will just conclude that Mr. President was not at the gathering, because most part was focused on the vice president than the president. You see, yeah? Let's go. You see, yeah?
You also asking them to continue.
You see?
working.
And yeah, Mr. President sitting in the corner there. Yeah, Mr. President sitting in the corner. But the camera was on the vice president more than the president, and the two of them sitting together. So you want to capture the entire front row where all the officials are sitting, but the camera kept focusing on the vice president. The vice president. The emphasis of the camera was not on the president, not on the pro tem Yomli Kara Lawrence, who sat at front row alongside Senator Bezon Garfinley, but the president. I don't know for what reason the camera was on him that long, but as we are told in journalism, in broadcast, it suggests something. All right, so that's it.
You also asking them to continue working in local and good relationship with them. They appreciate your love. Thank you all so much.
You see it? You still not seeing Mr. President, but Mr. President is in a corner sitting. But it's not about Mr. President. The camera is still not on him. It's on the vice president. Why the camera focus on the vice president throughout? You see his countenance? You see how he looks? You see how he looks?
Those that came from far and near, we want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for basic education.
He looks reluctant. Vice President, rather.
All places far and near.
Okay. We'll see you. We'll see you. Time is up. Time is up. That's all the time we've got. Thank you ever so much for being with us for today's presentation. We're back on Monday, if God permits. But you want to join us at 8 this evening when Newton Topa and the Diaspora team in at 8 o'clock we face the issues. You don't want to miss that. That is at 8 o'clock. Newton Tokwa and the Diaspora team, and at 8 will face the issues. Thank you ever so much. Let me read some of the comments as quickly as we can render injustice. We heard your views by telephone. Let's read some of the comments. Then we go not all. Princey Jimmy said he is not okay at all. Rita Hades said okay. Yeah. I swear, when I come to Liberia, I got to meet Man CC. Oh yeah. Rita, when you come to Liberia, Man CC, you see Lady F7219 said sorry, but no, not water. Gabriel Jainen said Boaka is a long time. What? Tano something say Liberian people, you look for your own trouble. It good for you. All right. So that's it. If God permits, we're back tomorrow, which means Monday. I'm Sam Andrews.
From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning